right, so this is going to be one of the last of this set of STEM videos. So I hope you enjoyed all the activities. I tried to come up with some fun things where we can have minimal materials that we would have at home. So for this one, we're going to be making a bird kite. So if you've ever made a kite, a lot of times we see kites in triangles, and you might use sticks or straws to give it some rigidity so that it doesn't fall apart so easily. So we're gonna make ours in the shape of a bird this time. So the materials you're going to need are some paper. It doesn't have to be colored paper, and it could be any thickness. We need some scissors, some string, some tape, pencil, and marker is optional if you just want to decorate it. So we're going to move these supplies out of the way, and we're going to start with, I'm going to make my kite green. My bird is going to be green. Maybe you want it to be a parrot, whatever you want. And I'm going to fold it. Sometimes we call this hamburger style when we fold it this way as opposed to hot dog style. So it looks like a hot dog bun that way and a hamburger bun this way. So I'm going to put it this way, and I'm just going to fold it. So depending on the size of paper you have, it's going to change the size of your kite. So the larger the paper, the larger the kite. Okay, so I have it folded, and I'm going to take this corner. I'm kind of just going to turn the fold towards me, and I'm going to take, the flap is open and pointing away from me, and I'm going to take this corner, and I'm just going to take the point and fold it down to here, okay? I don't have to line anything up, just the point to the fold like this. And I'm not going to crease this because this is going to be kind of like our wing. And I'm just going to tape it in place. If you happen to have a stapler and you want to staple it, you can. I'm just going to tape it, but a stapler will work just as well, okay? To hold it in place. Might work better actually, but I'm just going to put another piece of tape on here. I'm using a heavier cardstock, so need some extra tape there, okay? And then I'm going to do the same thing on the other side to create the second wing. Now, if it's not holding and you do want to use a stapler, by all means, go ahead. So I'm just going to take this point, I just flipped it over, and I'm going to tape it here as well. And then put another piece of tape. Like that. Okay, so you kind of get the gist. Kind of looks like a paper airplane almost. But I just folded these down without creasing them, so they have that nice fold, a little more aerodynamic. Okay, and then the next thing we're going to do is you can use a pencil or some scissors, or if you have a hole punch to put a hole somewhere. I'm going to try and use my pencil to see if I can do that. That worked. And I'm just going to poke a hole, but you can use whatever you have. A hole punch would work well. So, well, I just ripped mine. You don't want to do that. But if you happen to rip it, there's a way to fix it. I'm just going to put a little piece of tape at the bottom. And then just go back through that with my pencil, and there we go. Okay, so that hole is going to be for your string, so you can actually fly your kite. Okay, so if you want to add some decorations, this is where your markers might come in. Maybe you want to draw an eye. I was gonna put eyelashes on it, but then it's not gonna look like a bird to me. If you want to, like, I don't know, I'm just kind of gonna make some stripes like this. Kind of looks like a fish now, but that's okay. Looks like gills. I was trying to go for some feathers. And I'm gonna name mine, actually. I'm gonna name mine Speedy. I don't know how speedy he'll be, but I named him Speedy. So you can take your marker and you could, you know, add designs, put your name, whatever you like. And then with your extra paper, if you want, I just made a little triangle you can tape that in the front to kind of look like a beak maybe. I guess maybe like that would be better. And then I'm just gonna take some tape it in place. You can also, I'm not even drawing anything here. I'm just kind of eyeballing it and gonna cut out some little feathers here. And then we could, I'm just gonna overlap them and tape them. So you can add whatever you want. If you want to be creative, which is a big part of STEM, is being creative, and you want to put a set of antenna, set of ears, you can make it as crazy and three-dimensional as you want. Okay, so I just added some quick feathers, and then whatever kind of string you have, ribbon, some twine, anything. I'm just gonna cut. Now, if you're gonna fly this outside, you obviously need a lot longer string than what I just cut here. But just for this purpose, you would take your string and thread it through, and then tie it pretty secure so you don't lose it in the wind. And then you're pretty much done. Again, you want a longer string than this. So, where we can tie STEM into this, again, we can talk about lift and drag and thrust and gravity and all that, which does come into play. It's nice and aerodynamic because of these folds right here. They're not sharp, so the air coming towards it is going to like glide nicely over the wings of the bird. But a lot of times we think about going outside to fly kites on a windy day. If you go to the beach, a lot of people like to fly kites then. So the different temperatures of the air could make a difference too on a warm day or a cold day, because hot air rises and cold air sinks. So there's lots of different temperatures of air moving around the atmosphere. And when you mix the two, because they have different pressures, that's what causes wind. So that's when wind is created, when those two different temperatures and pressures start to mix. So we measure wind by its speed and its direction, and we measure speed in knots. So if you've ever a lot of times when they sail boats, they talk about knots too, which is basically how a car goes miles per hour. Wind is measured in knots. So they measure wind according to the direction that it's coming from, so not the direction it's blowing. So if a west wind, somebody is talking about a west wind, they are talking about one that came from the west, not one that is going to the west. So a little bit of information about that. So again, you can try different types of paper, different sizes of paper to see which kite might fly the best. Test it out on a colder day where it's windy, a warmer day when it's windy. You know, you can give it a fancy name if you want. And I hope you have fun with these and enjoy your summer. This would be a good project to take to the beach. Lots of wind down by the beaches for sure, so enjoy.